The race got underway a little bit earlier than some were expecting. 3 lights and we were underway. Something's gone amiss. Well, not for Bart Harrison though. He got a great start there from just outside of the top few rows, and everyone who was on slicks was struggling in a split grid. Some were hoping for the long-term benefit of sitting on the slick tyres. Others were on wets, and it was the wets coming to the fore as the race began. That was one of the slickshod drivers in a spin, Andrea Kostic, who stuck with it all the way through the race. Meanwhile, Bart Harrison was in the lead, having surged forward in the early stages. And then the red flag came out, and that saved the bacon of many a driver, including most of the US Racing lineup, who were all well, mostly on slick tyres. A lot of them switched to wets before the race began again, post red flag after 2 laps under safety car. And it was Gabriel Gomez fighting Eddie Robinson at the front as the race resumed. Theo McLaughlin looking to try and benefit in the Red Bull-backed high-tech TGR machine, split the US Racing cars into second. Oh dear, Simon Schranz was the driver responsible for knocking the 61 of Andrea Dupé into a spin. The 62 car, the other AS Motorsport machine, 2 of 3 having a moment in the early stages of the race. Further back, everyone fighting for track space, some of them having to settle for runoff space in these tricky wet conditions. Maximilian Popov lost his front wing on the first lap on his slick-shod car. He would continue on the slicks, he would ultimately be lapped. It turns out slicks were not the way to go. Alba Hurup Larsen there being overtaken by Joanne Conti on her first weekend here in the Formula Winter Series. Simon Schranz was making up some good places, managed to get past Dante Vinci for what would be 4th in the rookie class, which was as high as he would get, not quite able to chase down Artem Severikin for 3rd position. And battles all through the order, and embattled races for some as well, losing the front wings, losing time on track if they're on the wrong tyre, or just struggling with the setup underneath them in these greasy conditions. But no such issues for Theo McLaughlin, nor Leo Robinson, who looked like he was closing in on the Irishman for several minutes of the race, was shrinking the gap down under 2 seconds, but would ultimately start to see the high-tech car, his high-tech teammate, disappear. Eddie Robinson kept falling through the order further back as unfortunately the pole sitter just didn't seemingly have the car underneath him. Nina Hardeman almost finding a way past as well. She was trying to get into the overall top 10 as they lapped the slick-shod Maximilian Popov, number 35, in a spin further back in the field. Meanwhile, on his return, Georgi Zaravsky, back in an F4 car for the first time in a long time, was making up positions and moved well into the top 20 by the end. In fact, the top 15 by the end. Artem Severikin was trying to get into the overall top 10 at the expense of Eddie Robinson, but Robinson was particularly keen to keep the position, keep in the top 10, but unfortunately for him, the car was still not behaving underneath him, and Severikin would ultimately finish in 10th place. He'd also finished 3rd in the rookie standings. But Theo McLaughlin at the front of the order delivered a measured performance, started to extend the gap again towards the end of the race, and would ultimately win by 4.4 seconds in his first ever weekend of racing. What a performance for him. Enia Fry just about won a Yenza Motorsport drag race to the line, but Theo McLaughlin is a Formula Winter Series race winner, just 3 races into his career. Congratulations to Theo McLaughlin and High-Tech TGR, who have a 1-2. Leo Robinson in 2nd place, Maxime Ream in 3rd, Gomez in 4th place, Thomas Behrman in 5th, Lucas Amalisto P6, Enia Fry in 7th position, 8th place for Bart Harrison, 9th for Kabir Anurag, and Artem Severikin rounding out the top 10. 3 Yenzas in the top 10, a good showing for them. Eddie Robinson in 11th, Nina Hardeman in 12th place. In 13th, Alicia Palmovsky. Of course, Hardeman winning in the female trophy, a sweep of that category for her this weekend. Georgi Zaravsky in 14th, Simon Schranz in 15th, Dante Vinci in P16, Sebastian Bach in 17th place, Alexander Ruta in 18th, Matilda Patz in 19th, Alba Hurup Larsen in P20, Rafaela Ferreira in 21st, Dupe and Chiconte bringing us down to 23rd place, Peyton Westcott in 24th, Kirill Kutskov at one point down a front wing in 25th place, Borenstein in 26th, Anna Anagnostiadis in 27th, Cornelia Olkutska in 28th, Andrea Kostic and Maximilian Popov rounding out the 30-car order. Of course, Olkutska found the barrier late on, but quite impressive that all reached the flag.